It's your boy Garfazio, and I am back with some Pokemon Presents predictions, and let's discuss the currently ongoing Pikachu 7-star raid event. That's cool, and by the way, I'll be streaming that event shortly after this video. More on that in a community post I'll be posting as well after this video. So yeah, folks, I'm hyped. This is a good time to be a Pokemon fan because the presents usually, when the presents is a thing, a lot of people start speculating, predicting, and there are also leaks so about what's to come in the current Pokemon year and beyond. So yeah, that's hype, and without any further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, the Pokemon Presents was announced to be going up on the 27th of February, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST if I'm correct, and it's stated that the Pokemon Presents will be around 20 minutes long. That's a pretty long Pokemon Presents because usually they could range from being 20 minutes or maybe around like 10 minutes or somewhere in between. So yeah, usually when you have these 20 minutes Pokemon Presents, that means there are some juicy announcements somewhere in there. So I'll be I've taken a look at some of the older Pokemon Presents and how they were structured, at least the program, how that was structured, and it did indicate that if Pokemon Presents usually around like 19-20 minutes or longer than the usual 10 minutes, we are getting some good stuff, and I want to try and see if I can predict the program a little bit. So let's go and see in how much we can do that. First up, I would like to kind of talk about the start of the program. So usually they try to pad out the Pokemon Presents with some more miscellaneous stuff or some minor things, right? So usually they announce some special events or celebrations for their mobile games or spin-offs, which would be Pokemon Cafe Remix, Pokemon Unite, and Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters EX, right? Those are their mobile games / spin-offs. And yeah, usually like they'll add new Pokemon to Pokemon Unite, or like Cafe Remix. Master EX will have probably some new sync pairs or whatnot, and you'll get login bonuses. So it minor things, but still good to have nonetheless, right? I don't play these games, but I'll just announce it for anyone who cares. It's a part of going over the program. Next up, we'll probably get some new games, right? So first up, Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Sleep was supposed to come out years ago and was announced I think in 2019, and it should have came out in 2020. Right, Pokemon Sleep is like one of these games which promote your health, like Pokemon Go, right? It promotes that you go outside and walk. Also Pokemon Smile, I think, which promotes like oral hygiene. And next up, Pokemon Sleep, right? Which makes it so you can like do stuff in Pokemon Go or progress in the game while sleeping. So that's cool, right? So it will promote going to sleep in a way. But yeah, this game has never come out, and people even thought that it was cancelled because we haven't heard anything of it. But lately, I guess not lately, like in 2021 during April, apparently an SSL certificate was registered, which does imply that Pokemon Sleep is still in the works one way or another. So it's still been years. I think if Pokemon Sleep is really coming, they should right about now announce it in the upcoming Presents, right? Otherwise, I don't see really how it's still gonna happen years after the initial announcement, right? Any sort of hype or interest has already died down. So if they're gonna do anything, they should be quick about it. Yeah, that might come. And next up, something a bit more interesting, right? We will probably get some older games ported to the Nintendo Switch, because in the Pokemon games, in the last Nintendo Direct, it was announced that the Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games will be coming to the Nintendo Switch online subscription service. And that's cool, right? You'll get to play some really good classics. And one of the greatest series of Nintendo has started with the Game Boy. Pokemon, right? Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow were the first games, and those games are definitely coming over, I think, first and foremost. And some other games, which might be like Silver and Gold, Crystal, and obviously because we have the Game Boy Advance, we'll get some of those games like what, Fire Red, Leaf Green, but before that, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So yeah, that's good, man. I think that'll definitely be an announcement because it's no mere coincidence that we're getting the Pokemon Presents right now, and shortly before it we had the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games announced for the Switch. But yeah, so yeah, that's cool. Moving on, and now we're getting into the really juicy stuff, right? A few days ago, because Pokemon Day was announced and Pokemon Presents website was launched alongside these announcements, and it is like the Pokemon Together website. It is an event which will tie into Pokemon Day, and with that event you'll be able to take like a picture and upload it on your social media accounts, and you should upload with the hashtag Pokemon Together. The Pokemon Together hashtag. You'll be basically included on the February 27th into an interactive mosaic. Your pictures will be included. And that's fun and all, but that's not the most important thing. The important thing is, it was discovered in the code of the website that just kind of like how you have like a game and you data mine the game, there's some information left over. In the code of that website, they actually found that the Spike Chunsoft trademark is there. And Spike Chunsoft, not Chunsoft, Spike Chunsoft is actually a company who has developed a lot of games. But in particular, they are the creators of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And it's kind of strange that out of the blue, the trademark is just there. This on a website, right, which ties into the Pokemon Presents and the Pokemon Day celebration, right? So people are thinking that we're obviously getting a new Mystery Dungeon game. Heck yeah, man. It's been long overdue for a fully new entry into the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon ongoing series. Because, we got on the Switch Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, but DX is not really a new entry, it's a remake, right? And the Pokemon Company and Nintendo probably did it because they want to kind of test the waters in terms of how the Mystery Dungeon series will perform on the Switch in terms of sales and interest hype. And it turns out that the DX actually sold pretty well. It's like one of the most successful Mystery Dungeon entries. So that's cool, and that's probably why we are likely getting an actual new entry into the series. That's dope, man. I'm hyped. Maybe we'll even see Gen 9 Pokemon, right? Because they had enough time to include those into the next entry. And that would also be a really cool way to announce the next entry, right? Here you go, Gen 9 Pokemon, hype, and anyone who has not yet played Mystery Dungeon, you'll get to experience these really new Pokemon in a new entry. That's a good way to promote it, in my opinion. By the way, thanks to Bri. He's a Twitter user who actually uncovered code on the Pokemon Together website, so yeah, many thanks to him. Much appreciated. And yeah, moving on to the grand finale of what I think will be included in the Pokemon Presents program will be this Pokemon Scarlet and Violet expansion pass. We are likely getting DLC. A lot of stuff in the game is hinting at DLC because the endings kind of the story is pretty open-ended, right, with the professor and stuff disappearing, really not knowing much about what's up with like the crystals and the third legendary. We don't know about that, and that should be included in DLC. Next up, there's like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet books in game with a lot of lore and information about the events which transpired years ago. Next up, you also had like the history class dropping a lot of lore, alluding to more content for the game, right? And questions which have not been answered. So yeah, in terms of a story perspective, we should be getting more content. And on top of that, in those Pokemon Scarlet and Violet books in game, they also teased 2 new Paradox Pokemon, right? Like the Paradox amalgamation of Virizion And Terrakion Cobalion, that's dope for like what, Pokemon Violet. And you also had the ancient form of Suicune for Pokemon Scarlet, so that is something that should also be added into the game. And yeah, last but not least, you also have the obscured part of the northeastern region of the map in Paldea. And a lot of people have been thinking that we're gonna get Kalos DLC because in the northeast, where it's obscured on the map, in real life, actually France is located, right? And obviously, right, Paldea is based on Spain, so if Pokemon is cool enough to kind of include that real life reference, then we should get Kalos as a DLC, and by extension, we should also be able to, have Mega Evolutions back into the games. I mean, I have been waiting for years for Mega Evolutions to come back, and I hope they add some new ones as well. Lots of cool stuff, and last but not least, there's also, right, in the regular Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games, there was this data mine, and people uncovered that there's actually a convergent form of Gyarados, kind of like those converged Pokemon based on Tentacruel and its evolution line. And next you had also Diglett and Dugtrio, who had their convergent forms, right? So I think Gyarados was scrapped in development, and we're probably getting conversion Gyarados in the DLC. That would be dope if they did that. My money's on that as well. So yeah, lots of stuff to come. I'm stoked, and yeah, let's see where it goes. This is kind of my Copium prediction. I think it's kind of fun to include like wild card, and not just based on any reasoning or logic, just something what I want to see in the Pokemon Presents. And I would love it if they actually managed to, port over, not managed, obviously they can do it, managed is not the correct word, but I mean, if they would port over Pokemon Conquest. Conquest is like one of my favorite Pokemon games. I'm a Fire Emblem fan, right? So Pokemon Conquest is made for me. It's like Fire Emblem. It is amazing. I love this game. It's a lovely spin-off, and by a lot of people, I think, forgotten and underrated, I would say. But yeah, I would love it if they bring this over to the Switch. Obviously they will not, I think, because this was like a collaboration, this game between Nintendo, Game Freak, and Koei Tecmo. And ever since this collaboration, I have not seen Koei Tecmo collabing with Game Freak ever again, which is unfortunate because I would love for a sequel to come out. But yeah, I would be happy for a port, or maybe like what, I guess a port with some updates. That would be cool, man. But hey, we are probably not getting that, and I just keep I'll just keep huffing and puffing my copium. Nonetheless, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, moving on, let's talk about the Pikachu 7-star Tera Raid event. Man, that's also currently ongoing, and I'll be live streaming the event on my channel after this video, like I said, right? So I look forward to that. But yeah, let's discuss the Pikachu first. So yeah, this is a water type Pikachu, and it's kind of weird that we got a Pikachu, right? But I think they did it because Pikachu is the face of Pokemon, and it's Pokemon Day, so this is like a celebratory symbolic pick for that. And I guess it's nice, but the only annoying thing is that it does take a spot at the end of the month for a more hype Tera Raid Pokemon. I mean 7-star Tera Raid Pokemon, right? One which is not just like symbolically cool, but as well really strong Pokemon. Like Charizard's pretty strong. We have with solar power, he's like one of the strongest attackers, special attackers under the sun. Next up, we have like Greninja and Cinderace, which obviously are the protein Pokemon. Really good stuff, but Pikachu not so much as in battle, right? At least during this raid event, they did include Pikachu with the Light Ball, so that's cool. That's the first 7-star Tera Raid Pokemon with an health item. That's dope. But yeah, besides all of that, let's actually go over what this Pokemon has in store during the raid, right? So Pikachu has the moves Thunder, Iron Tail, Play Rough, and Surf. So yeah, those are some strong moves. And with the Light Ball, his attack, special attack, are I think increased by 50%. So This guy can hit a lot, and then I guess the most annoying thing about this event is that it also has its shields up, right, Pikachu? So at the start of the battle, which means that a lot of hits will do very little damage. And yeah, I also read like on Twitter that the XP, I mean the HP of the Pikachu actually increased a lot more than the usual Tera raid. So this HP stat of Pikachu is very inflated, and to top it off, it has these annoying moves and the shield, which makes it very bulky. So yeah, they have done a lot of effort in making Pikachu pretty annoying to face, but nonetheless, it should still be doable because it is a Pikachu. It is a Pikachu. And yeah, let's talk about some Pokemon which could actually be pretty potent against this 7-star Tera raid boss. A lot of people are using Lurantis with Contrary and Leaf Storm, which makes it so that instead of dropping its special attack after using Leaf Storm, it'll actually increase its special attack by 2 stages, which is a really good way to snowball into sweeping Pikachu. And because Lurantis is a grass type, it is a really good matchup against Pikachu's moves. So yeah, lots of people are successful with this Pokemon, but I will not be using Lurantis. I'll be using probably my Gastrodon and Clodsire, since I already built those Pokemon, and they are a great match against Pikachu because of them both being ground-type Pokemon, so they're immune to the electric attacks, and they both have access to abilities which make them immune against, water moves. So yeah, Clodsire will be really good with, Water Absorb, and Gastrodon will have Storm Drain. So yeah, that's hype. I'll be using these guys. And you know, if it doesn't work out, it will work out though, but maybe for the heck of it, I'll also use Goldengo, because I miss using Goldengo during the raids, and I would like to use him. And you see, he has the item Covert Cloak equipped. It'll mean that basically he will not be paralyzed by the thunder. I forgot to tell you guys, Pikachu also has a Rain Dance, and Rain Dance will make it so obviously thunder will always hit. Annoying, but we will not get paralyzed because we'll be using ground-type Pokemon. At least I will be using, Gastrodon and Clodsire, namely. And Goldengo could just use a Covert Cloak to make sure that it does not get paralyzed. So that's good. So these are the Pokemon I'll be using, and I guess I haven't talked about the EVs, right? I'll be just investing to max HP, max defenses, like for Gastrodon, max HP, and I guess evenly split EVs into defense and special defense, with Clodsire max HP and max special defense. I think that's the set I built in the past. And yeah, my Goldengo is just max speed and max special attack. So yeah, those are the sets I'll be running for my Pokemon during the 7-star Tera raid event. And yeah, that's pretty much sums up the video. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and yeah, if you did, you know what to do. You know what to do. I don't have to tell you what you have to do if you enjoy the content. And yeah, remember, shortly after this video, I'll be streaming the Pikachu event. Feel free to join us if you want a Pikachu. If you don't have one, just make sure to bring some good Pokemon, like the Pokemon I suggested in this video, which I'm bringing. Next up, yeah, if you don't want the Pikachu, you could also just farm the rewards, right? Those are some juicy rewards which you can obtain. Definitely come and do that, join us. And yeah, about the Pokemon Presents, I will, like I said, live react to it at 9 AM